Postseason football, you say? Well, shut up and take my money. Let's go. Hello again. It's time for another breakdown, a playoff version. The Orlando Storm are in. They're the only UFL team to have punched their ticket so far. So what does that mean for the Storm? And who do they have to beat? Or who needs to get beat to make sure that that stays that way? So we're hosting a game at Inter & Co Stadium. 2 weeks left to go in the regular season. Storm with back-to-back games against DC. Jordan Ta'amu on the sidelines. Oh my, so much to digest. But first, let's take a look at the standings as we enter Week 9. Orlando at the top of the standings. It's music to my ears. I love seeing such things. However, there is much work to be done. Got to win 2 games against the DC squad that is still pretty good, but without Jordan Ta'amu. He's sidelined for the rest of the season with a knee injury. So what does that mean? Well, it means Orlando's got to step their game up, take whatever film they've got and work with it, because the Storm have not been typically very good against quarterbacks who come off and they have little film on. So the replacement might be not as good as the starter, but he's an unknown, and that doesn't bode well. Orlando needs to win both of these games. You might be able to split one with DC, get a second seed, but we want to be first. Second place is the first loser. Let's not back into the playoffs here, kids. Let's win them out. The team that we have to watch for right now, the Birmingham Stallions. That situation's a little interesting. We've already played them twice, and we've split the two. One of them was against our new arch nemesis, the villain in the UFL, the guy who's still constantly chirping, even in a 14-game 3 against Columbus, Dorian Thompson-Robinson. It's very likely that if Birmingham wins out with their apparently soft schedule, that we might get to face the Stallions again in a 1-4 matchup, which would be round 2 against DTR in Orlando. Situation, probably ideal. I'm sure the Storm want a get-back game on that one and leave the bird in the cage this time so he can stop squawking. But you got to watch out for the Louisville Kings, though. And with the way the UFL season's been going, Birmingham's not immune. Sure, they're playing Columbus, but you got to look at the schedule and the score once more. 14-3 against Columbus. That doesn't say a whole lot. BTR only threw a jump way back touchdown. I don't even know what you want to call that. It wasn't a dime. It was more like a quarter. It was so easy to catch. And the defense had busted the assignment because he scrambled. All right, that was one play. After that, not a whole lot. They blocked a field goal, ran it back for a touchdown. Yay, special teams. But 14-3 against Columbus, who has really improved defensively, doesn't say a whole lot. Now, Columbus was abjectly horrible on offense that week, so there's not a whole lot we can say. But I'm not convinced that the Stallions are really in playoff mode yet with such a tight loss. They got to play Columbus again, this time in Ohio. And Columbus has actually turned out to be pretty good at home lately. They've not won them all, but they can be pesky. And we know what it's like to play a pesky team 2 times in a row. Just reference the Louisville Kings. Speaking of Louisville, they're on the rise right now. They need a Birmingham loss and a couple of victories to slide into 4th place themselves, which would mean we'd get another shot at Louisville, and I'm sure they're chomping at the bit after getting swept this season. And Chandler Rogers has become one hell of a quarterback lately, so I don't know. That Louisville matchup also looks kind of dicey. Circle that on the list of teams that you might not want to face a third time. Louisville's definitely one of them. But hey, we got to play who's on the schedule, and you got to step up your game. Regardless, Orlando's got business in front of them this week with DC and must win both of those games, in my opinion. St. Louis, well, I don't know what the hell happened to them. They weren't supposed to lose that game at Houston, and boy, did they lose it bad. Luis Perez with a little clock management issue at the end. I think he's going to come back from that, and the second game with Houston might be much better. St. Louis needs to win that game if they want to stay in the second position right now. This could be absolute chaos. Picture the scenario where St. Louis and DC somehow lose enough games to have their playoff stock reduced, and Birmingham and Louisville make the playoffs. So many mathematical equations taking place right now in my head. I'm going to have to carry the one, maybe carry a beer, and figure out what happens. With that being said, this is just a taste of the feast to come this week. Special guest on the Storm Surge podcast. You won't want to miss it. The big mustache is coming. You know, we might actually get Kyle to wear a mustache this week. I don't know. With another breakdown, this is BP. Let's go Storm. Show up Orlando. I'll see you next time.